So, everyone remembers the video I did where I said I didn't know if I dreamed a movie on Netflix or watched a movie that was like my fucking... The thing that bothered me was it was like probably like one of my favorite movies I've ever seen. So, I posted a video because I couldn't find it. One thing I remember is that it arrived on Netflix at the same time as Zoo, season 2 of Zoo. And I originally thought that it was like the first 1 or 2 episodes of season 2 of Zoo. When I go back, it's not. And then I remember thinking, oh yeah, something else arrived at the same time that I thought kind of looked cool. It must have been that. So I watched it the first time. I described it in the video like it was like this. There was like a cruise ship, like a prize wall thing. It was basically like a futuristic type of life or death game show where people they were competing to like match threes, and like then they could bank them, and they're like slid down in this bank thing, and you know, water, food, money. There was weapons, but they weren't like actual like firearms. They were like it was almost like out of a vending machine, how you get the pieces of like machine guns and shit, and you put them together. And then they like shoot rubber bands or something. But in the movie they shot like these like square things or something. And you could use those to like knock other people's matches or whatever. Now anyway, I described this whole movie in the first video about it, so I don't want to get into all that again. But one person, clearly a very intelligent individual, commented. He was like, do you remember any of the actors in the movie? And I thought really hard about that, and I was like, you know, I don't. And the thing was, I remember seeing it twice, because I remembered watching it the second time. I was going through Netflix, and like, you know how they have like the little, you know, pictures of the movies, and like the prize thing was in the pictures and all this stuff. So I remembered watching it twice. So like, in my head, I was like, fuck, this thing must be real. Like, how come I can't find it now? And still to this day, like, when I go to Netflix, I kind of, like, search around a little bit to see if I can just, like, luckily find it. But the person who asked me, did I remember any of the actors in the movie? I don't. And, that was one of the reasons I thought that it might have been, like, the first 2 episodes of like Zoo season 2, because like I didn't really know any of those people until I started.
Trev's coming over in about 2 minutes.
Until I started like watching Zoo. Like I had not seen, you know, those people before, except for the exception of Billy Burke, who is like one of my favorite actors. Now, that could mean 2 things. It could mean I dreamed the movie. In that case, it's the only time in my life I've ever had a reoccurring dream. I don't have reoccurring dreams. I never have. I've never dreamed the same dream twice. But if this wasn't a real movie, it was like the first time in my life I had a reoccurring dream. So, I'm just posting this again because, I feel like it's a fucking real movie, you know? I don't know, like, how... I'm aware of, like, lucid dreaming, and I've read books on it because I've always thought it would be really cool to be able to do. Lucid dreaming is when you are asleep, you're in a dream, you're aware you're dreaming, and then you're able to do anything you want, such as flying and, you know, things that we can't normally do. And one of the books I read, the dude that wrote it was really funny. He was like, as soon as I learned how to lucid dream, I didn't want to go out with my friends anymore. I'd go home at 9 o'clock every night and go to bed and fly around and go to orgies and drive Lamborghinis, and like, it was really funny. Anyway, I can't do it. I've not been able to do it yet. I don't know if I really try. Now, there have been times where, like, I've been in a dream, woke up briefly, and been able to, like, you know, the dream starts again. But that's not really the same thing. The thing about this movie is that it was the same both fucking times, you know? The boat, the mall, like, all the people, like, it was just the same fucking movie. And, like, people, my friends and, like, people I'm close with, I describe it to her like, dude, if that's not a real movie, you should fucking write it, because that's, like, an epic fucking movie. My daughter, when I asked her if she might know what it was, said, maybe it had to do with you dreaming about the, Nerf movie. Well, no, this was an adult movie. Like, I'm not saying adult as in, like, porn, but, like, this was, like, a movie for grown-ups. You know, there was, like, you know, swearing and death and this and that. The one thing I remember is, like, it was, the game was, like, put on by some type of, like, for lack of a better word, evil overlord, which I hate to say, because I feel like such an idiot when I say stuff like that, you know, like, I feel like I'm, like, in a Marvel fucking comic book or something, but yeah, like, some evil overlord company or person or some type of thing, but, it was in the future. But anyway, as the movie took place, society kind of, like, disintegrated. So, like, at the end of the movie, they were basically playing the game out, like, in a field, you know, like, it had gone from, like, this multi-million-dollar thing to where, in order to keep it going, they were, like, playing it out in the field. And, I just really fucking want to know what this movie was. And, like, if it was a dream, it was a dream. And if it was a dream, it was cool. There's the few things that make me think that, where was I? I had to pause to talk to my, anyway, there's a few things that made me think that it was real. One, I could have sworn I saw it advertised on Netflix the second time I watched it. Two, it was so intricate in the sense of, like, it was exactly the same, you know, the second time. It wasn't like, something that I kind of, like, fucking dreamed up and then, like, you know, kind of similar happened again. Like, it was the same. And, you know, as with dreams and things like that, when you wake up, you don't necessarily remember every aspect. Well, the same thing happens to me kind of when I watch a movie, because I assume the movie's always going to be around. So I didn't remember every aspect to share with the people I was, you know, asking. So what I remembered was, they were playing it on a cruise ship, on the back of a cruise ship. They were playing it like some mall type of facility, with a huge crowd out wanting to, you know, be the next participants. I remember it was like a wall type of thing where they could climb and do this, and it was three-dimensional, like they could, you know, match the 3 o'clock, like tic-tac-toe, or any, or even straight back, you know. One thing I remember is, like, one person in the movie who was dying or about to be out of the game or whatever, tossed a prize cube to, I believe it was a young girl, who was able to use it to match 3 and, like, get up, you know, higher on the wall and this and that. So I guess maybe the higher they climbed on the wall, the better. Anyway, fuck, I'm asking again. Like, has anybody seen this fucking movie? I even went to, like, websites where they're like, they ask you questions like what you remember about the movie and, like, describe little aspects, and then they, like, give you options of, like, what movies it could have been. The problem is when I Google like prize wall movies or futuristic game show movies, the things that come up are like, rock climbing walls and the movie The Cube and, shit like this. I don't know what to Google to like get the right words in there to where it won't just pop up as like, rock climbing walls and other, things that have absolutely nothing to do with movies, even though I'm writing movie, So here's what I'm asking of you guys. If anybody remembers what debuted on Netflix at the same time as Zoo Season 2, let me know. Because I can't even find that on Google. I've Googled what debuted with Zoo Season 2 on Netflix. Lots of shit comes up. The thing that doesn't come up is the fucking answer. So anyway, like if any of you have any idea what movie this is, or if you know what debuted on Netflix with Zoo Season 2, like, hit your boy up. Let him know. Like, at least that way I can stop fucking spending, like, every time I go to watch Netflix, I must spend at least 20 minutes, like, going through and trying to find this movie. Now, I figure it would be in, like, fucking sci-fi and fantasy, or action, or possibly even independent. I've gone through all this shit. I can't find it. Really strange. Anyway, yeah. If you know or know what came out with Zoo Season 2, like, fucking help your boy out. Let me know, please.